But an old magician with the same name also knows about these actions, and he tries to reach Anthony in his dreams since a while. But he knows that he has to take some natural actions now. Anthony is alone at home, for his parents are on a little holiday this weekend. It's night, and the criminal is already on his way to the farm where Anthony lives. The criminal has 2 men with him, 2 witch doctors, in black clothes. Anthony cannot sleep. He still thinks about that strange dream, and he's thirsty. So he walks downstairs to the refrigerator to get himself something to drink. Suddenly he feels a hand on his mouth. It's the magician. He says, "Quick, put your jacket on, we need to go." Anthony screams, "Who are you? Go away." So the magician tells the whole story. Anthony believes him, for he knows exactly about his dreams. But when they open the door to walk to the car of the magician, the criminals are already there. A fight follows and the magician gets knocked out. Anthony is screaming. Then they take him to a black car, and from a distance they shoot a bullet through the head of the magician. It's too late, boy, you, buddy, has gone. Anthony screams as loud as he can, but they have blocked his mouth by a black towel. He gets also a towel over his eyes. It was a long trip. He wakes up, finding himself tied to a bed. He cannot move, and he feels so strange in his head, like they have injected him with something. Hours go by without anything happening. Then he falls asleep. He's very thirsty. Then he gets a dream about a white rabbit. It has 2 faces. One face is the face of the magician, and the other face is the face of the criminal. It's a very shocking dream. And then he awakes in a shock. The towels around his head are gone. He can speak and see. There are 4 men standing around him. He feels very uncomfortable. They ask him questions, but he can't pick them up. He feels so weak and everything is spinning around his head. Then someone knocks with an iron stick on his head, and he loses consciousness. Again he has a dream that he's playing with a ball near the river with his mother. Suddenly he slips out and sinks in the river. His mother is screaming and tries to take his hand, but the strong stream is taking him away very quick. His mother is diving in the river too, but she fails to find him. He all sees this while sliding away further and further. He sees his own funeral in a flash, until a boat is picking him up, finding himself in a room, while a friendly lady is smiling at him. He smiles back and walks towards her, but suddenly the face of the woman changes into a mean, cynical face in flames, laughing at him very loud. He's smashed against the wall by this sight. He's watching outside, seeing a world drowning. Children, mothers, fathers. Then the lady is grasping at him from behind and tries to strangle him with panties. Then he wakes up in a shock again. The room is empty now. By the charge of this dream and by the shaking he's almost untied already, and he wrestles himself out of the knots. The door is locked, but he can open the window. It's on an attic somewhere and he steps on a narrow roof. He makes a long trip over a narrow roof and finally he reaches an open window from another house. When he enters, an old lady is screaming. "What are you doing here?" she yells. Anthony tells the story while crying. The emotions got too much for him. Suddenly the lady was very friendly. "Do you want a cup of tea?" she asks. They talk for a long time, and she asks him to stay for a while. Her husband will be at home soon. Then they would discuss what to do further. Finally, when it was already becoming dark outside, the husband of the old lady comes home. He has almost the same face of the magician. When they tell him the story together, he says, "We need to go to the police." But when the boy and the man sat in the car, someone was sitting in already, taking the boy by the throat. It seems the husband of the old lady was also a member of the conspiracy, while his wife didn't know anything about it. But at that night the woman got a dream about her husband. and it was so real and detailed that there wasn't another way. She simply saw where they brought the boy, and when her husband got home, she waited till he went to sleep, and then she took silently her jacket to go outside. She was shocked, but she knew it was true. She took the car and drove to a place near to the river. She knew that old wooden house, but she first need to have some proof for the police. She creeped to a window of the house and saw the boy and two men. They were asking him questions and the boy was crying. Now she knew enough and called the police, who were there some minutes later. She told the whole story and she knew she couldn't go back to her husband anymore. The police arrested him too, while the boy and the old lady were taken away to a secret hidden place to restore from this trauma. One of the policemen visited them daily, and was very concerned about them. Years later the old woman died. Anthony was now grown up and he still lived there in that secret hidden place, still having good contact with the policeman. He talked a lot about the old woman, who had a very deep place in his heart. She was a sort of hero to him, for it was her who saved his life. Chapter 4. Tragedy of Truth. One day the policeman took 7 men with him to Anthony's place. They wanted to talk to him. They were magicians. Anthony was very surprised. They had the faces of the 7 bloodhounds from his dream. They were 7 prophets knowing a lot about conspiracies and the things to come. They had a lot to tell to Anthony, and he was all ears for them. They told him about the things going on his old school, about the higher conspiracies wanting to put him down, and also about his family being in great danger. They talked for a long time, and at the end of the conversation the eldest member of the group told him he would dream another dream about the bloodhounds again. This night, when Anthony went to bed, he fell asleep very quickly. He was so tired, and the dream started to come over him when he was in a very deep sleep. He saw the white fly flying, turning everything into white powders. It started to snow. There was so much snow, and deep in the snow, he started to see the 7 bloodhounds walking. They were very in section, more than ever. They were beautiful. They were walking so slowly, so dignified, and the ripples were sliding over them and through them. It was beautiful to see this. Anthony was enjoying the sight, like he was being connected to thousands of wild animals he didn't know. They were walking towards something, in a princely slow motion. He saw a butchery in the distance, with white flies and spiders flying and creeping there. He almost vomited about this sight. It was such a dirty, terrible picture, and it was moving, and grubs were coming forth from it. It was such a wild chaos. Then he heard that woman of the ghost ship laughing again, and she talked in a sort of Chinese language. Suddenly he saw her face, and at the same time it was turning into a skeleton. But he felt calm and peaceful, like being surrounded by the bloodhounds. He saw them sinking in a mill, but this mill didn't hurt them. When they came out they were turned into waspian bloodhounds. They had very sharp and expressive eyes. They started to eat the woman from inside out. Now he saw the woman like she was older than everything, and it was like lightning struck his face. But he became calmer and calmer. He realized that the woman was losing her powers. She turned into an old wasp, and was flying to the butchery. Suddenly the picture was in flames and he heard screams harder than ever, like his ears were exploding, and blood was coming out of them. But he knew his real body was inside. He felt like his skin was torn off, like he was also going through a cocoon just like the bloodhounds. He felt so many strange powers in his eyes, like he could burn everything by his focus. He felt himself like a lethal wasp. He felt himself like being one with the bloodhound. "You are the 7th one," a voice spoke. But, he asked, "They are already 7 ones, then why am I not the 8th? Don't you know?" The voice said, "Because one is a traitor." Anthony was shocked, like struck by a falling tree. "Who is he?" He stumbled. "The one who was the closest to your heart." the one who was always like a father to you. The voice spoke again. It was like he was being electrified, and tears were coming from his eyes. He always felt so close to the eldest bloodhound, and he felt the same for the eldest member of the magician's group. But, he asked. He was the one who told me so many amazing things about myself, and he knew so much about me. He even predicted I would have this dream. How is that possible? Don't you understand? The voice spoke again. He speaks much truth, but he is doing that to infiltrate in your and their hearts. He can control much by that strategy, and he can create a lot of troubles in this position. He is sent out by the enemy. The conspiracy is larger and deeper than you think. They even infiltrated in your nearest family. Many of your earlier friends has set the stage for your present troubles. The needles are deep. But how can I do something about this? He asked further.